A very good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Panimal Engineering College and Institute Innovation Council, I welcome everyone for the session on entrepreneurship and innovation as a career opportunity. And I welcome everyone for this beautiful session. Our speaker, Mr. Ayangaran Krishnamurthy, founder and developer of Solutions Chennai, will take over the session and he'll give you an idea about how you can take career as an opportunity. In entrepreneurship as a career opportunity in this session. So over to you, Ayangaran.
Yes, sir. Hey, guys. As you know already, hi, I'm Angran Krishnamurthy, founder of Team Solutions and Java developer at Axer. Okay, I'd like to break the ice with a quote. The secret of getting ahead is to get started. What exactly is entrepreneurship? It isn't something like only those with an extraordinary IQ or someone who has a lot of money can do. Entrepreneurship is actually turning an idea into an action, arriving at a product. Sounds simple, right? Let's break it even more down. Entrepreneurship is just like programming. You need to find out a solution and make it work to your advantage. But entrepreneurship definitely demands something in return for your success, and it's called the will. Without will, you can't survive on in entrepreneurship, or you can't even make a startup that is going to be successful at any point of time. But entrepreneurship definitely requires other traits too, like your skill set, your team, and your knowledge. Have you ever noticed an entrepreneur never speaks about a one night wonder, a fortune, or a boon? All he talks about is a perspective, view, failure, and hard work. These are the things that differentiate a normal person and an entrepreneur. Now, let's talk on what it takes to be an entrepreneur. It's simple: an innovative idea, some time, and an investment, and some will, as I said earlier. Now, you might be wondering, what do I mean by an innovation? It's easy. You guys know Elon Musk, right? Just look back in time and think, did you know him when, who he was in 2010 or earlier? No, none of us would have known. Even the greatest of, like, say, for example, even the Jeff Bezos wouldn't have known, okay, such guy existed, because all those times he was failing and he was retrying again and again. And those failures are the ones that led him to where he is right now. Okay, now we saw an international example. Are you aware of the recent sensation? A person from our own state, to be honest, from our own Tamil Nadu. His name was Girish Mathrubootham, the founder of Freshworks. You might have seen his posts here and there, but you might have been like thinking, okay, what is he actually doing, and what's the reason he's like blooming up right now? He created a customer support service, a cloud-based customer support service. To be honest, he's the founder of Freshworks, which recently released the IPO in Nasdaq. He was a normal IT employee. Once he got frustrated with the broken TV and its poor consumer service. I repeat, a normal IT employee who was irritated and frustrated with a broken TV whose customer service was like trash. A quick spark bloomed out of his head. A bad customer service? Okay, why can't I do a customer service that is both easy for the consumers and the companies as well? That is where Freshworks started its path, a cloud based consumer support service. Now he has become the talk of the town, creating revolutions. All it takes is an innovative idea and the will to do it. How simple can an innovation be? As I said earlier, innovation is so simple. Even say, for example, the daily use, like some things like that we use daily, like say for example, a safety pin or a mobile phone or even the camera. Those days there used to be cameras like weighing 1.5 kgs or so on. But now we are like carrying cameras and even secret spy cameras that are within our fingertips. This is innovation. Innovation can be large or small, but innovation needs to be unique. It should be in a state of use, and it should be something that we require to make our lives easier. And yeah, So as of now, we have seen what entrepreneurship actually is. So last session I missed out something, that is interacting with you guys. Now I'd like to hear from you guys, like, is there anything that some of you guys passionate about? I don't want everyone to answer. I need only some who are interested to answer. I'm not going to call up your names. Just some of them who are interested to answer. Is there something you're passionate about? It just doesn't need to be like coding and stuff. It can be outside of coding, like public speaking, or say for example, event management and so on. Guys, am I audible?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Guys, can any of you share something that you're passionate about? Okay, let me make it simple. Yeah. Just raise your hands if you don't like coding. I know all of you are from CSE, but still some of you might not like coding, or many of you might not like coding. So I'd like to see how many of you don't like coding, in fact. Can you guys just raise your hands? Yeah, one. Okay, there's only one person who hates coding, right? Yeah, okay, two. Then I'll give you like 2 minutes. I need to know how many of you hate coding actually. I'm not asking if you can do good coding, or I'm not asking like if you will fail in your coding exams or anything. Just people that don't like coding as a whole. Like, I know to code, but I don't like coding. Those kind of people. Okay, just fine right now. Anyone else? 6. Okay, as I'm seeing some names popping up and some names going down, I'll just keep it slow, okay? Guys, coding, like, just because you're in CSE department doesn't mean that you should know coding or that you should know several programming languages. Even I myself have certain friends who are from mechanical department and love coding, and some of my friends who are from IT and CSE who hate coding to the core. They hated the coding so much that they started to join companies like Freshworks itself for the role of inside sales and so on. Many other roles related to sales and stuff they are passionate about. So the basic thing what I'm trying to say right here is follow your passion. Follow something you're good at. Follow something you would love to do. Not good at, follow something you'd love to do. Because the person I'm talking about who recently joined Freshworks is a person who was good at creating artificial intelligence models but still hated coding. The person got an accuracy, highest accuracy of facial detection for 92% and still hated coding. Sounds funny, but yes, the person doesn't like coding. So that person started following their own passion. And now they are working in the company and they're happy about the passion. They are still like talking to me, and the person is like, you know what? I love this place, not because it's easy for me, because I love what I do. This is what your attitude should be. Do what you love and just keep things subtle. Don't go like, okay, I should gain more money, so I'm gonna do this. Okay, I should gain more money, I'm gonna do this. Just because my parents ask, I shouldn't be like, okay, I'm a person who is not into coding, but my parents are wishing me to, so I'm gonna go. Just don't be like that. If you do that, trust me, in 2 or 3 years, you'll be like regretting your entire life decisions. Okay, you might ask me then, why am I doing coding? Because I really love coding. In fact, I'm a person who like learns coding during my free time, because coding is something that I am passionate about, and that is something I'm fascinated about. Like, coding makes me feel okay if I can think of something, or if I can imagine something, I can bring it into a reality. And if you ask me like if coding is my only passion, or is there something like only one passion should be there? No, I'm a public speaker. I do code a lot. I'm a developer. I have my startups, and I take tuitions as well because I love teaching as well. So I take tuitions. So there are 4 things I'm passionate about, and I'm so happy to do 4 at the time. But if you are gonna decide a thing that you're not passionate about, or that you are being forced to do, then trust me, you are gonna regret your major life decisions. So that is why entrepreneurship also comes into this one. Like even if you don't have any decision, like okay, this is what I should do or this is what I should follow, or if you like something like graphic designing or animation or something else, and you can't find a perfect place to work for, then create your own place. This is how entrepreneurship works. If you can't find the place to work for, if you can't find a place where you'd love to work for, then create it on your own. You guys would have heard about the word DIY, right? That is what I'm saying. Do it yourself. If you want to create an anime studio and you feel like, okay, there's no anime studio in India, so I should go to Japan and do something, or you should go to USA and work on some company, why go so long? Just invest in yourself, start as a freelancer, work your things through, get started. That's it. It might take some time to land a perfect consumer or a perfect client, but someday or the other you will be able to achieve it. Believe in yourself and get started. Okay, so this is about passion and entrepreneurship, and now let's move on to like, yeah, why to become an entrepreneur. Simple. You can be your own boss. Like the last session, I'm not gonna say just about you can take your own leaves or you can take your own day offs or you can decide what to do. Entrepreneurship is actually more than that. Last time I said that because the topic was what I felt was better about entrepreneurship, but actually there are more than what I feel about entrepreneurship. Why to become an entrepreneur? This is a big topic. Let me bring it short. You can create your own ideas. You can bring your ideas to reality. You can create what you think, not what others think. You work for yourself. You make money for yourself. There's so much stuff. And one best thing about entrepreneurship, be your own boss. You don't need to be like scared of timelines. You don't have to rush your timelines. You don't have to be like, okay, so this is what I should do, but I'm not a person who's like more likely to do it. Say, for example, even if you're an entrepreneur and you like to create, yeah, I'll come around coding itself again because that is only something my mind revolves around. So, say, for example, you're creating an application and you're good at web development part of you. And you're feeling like if I'm going to create an application, then I should learn it right. Then what is the purpose of entrepreneurship? Simple. Hire a freelancer. Hire a freelancer. Freelancers are persons who you take into contract, not your employees. There's a difference between freelancer and an employee. Say, for example, if I'm doing a freelancing for a particular project, I get paid for the given amount of work, actually, not the number of days I'm working for, the given amount of work. If I'm an employee, I'm getting paid for the number of days I work for. So which one is best? If you're paying the person to do the work, then it doesn't matter. The person also wants to complete the work earlier because he or she wants to work on other projects to make money. At the same time, if you're hiring an employee, what happens here is the person sometimes tries to prolongate the process because they are paid on a daily wage. So create your own stuff, make it happen, get freelancers, keep it going. That is my biggest advice for you people. And you might ask, okay, how do I start? If I'm gonna hire a freelancer also, I'm gonna pay money. What can I do? Get your friends to work. Tell them, okay, this is your share, bro. If you're going to work for me or if you're going to do this stuff for me, then I'm going to give this share as soon as the project is over. Because this is how I did my first thing. I put up a quote like, okay, this is the quote that I'm getting. Just be honest to your team. Most important thing, just be honest to your team. Because in some place, if they find out that you're not honest, then the entire ship will sink into the sea. Worse than the Titanic sank, actually. Worse than the way Titanic sank, your entire ship of a startup will sink into the sea. Be honest to your teammates. What I did was I shared the code with them. I told them, okay, guy, bro, this is what they have coded me. This is what I can do, and this is what I can't. And I don't think I have enough time to learn. So would you be in? And I'll share this percentage with you. This percentage of what I get with you. Initially, they took some time. Then we came to a concession like, okay, this percentage of I don't want to share the percentage, but this percentage is okay and this percentage is not okay. We came into a repo and we were like, okay, bro, so let's get it started. And one more thing, if you are the person who is hiring a friend, just keep in mind that you should be the one getting more than your friend. This is not because like, okay, so I'm a bigger powerful person or not. This is because you are the person who got the client, so you deserve more. So keep some for you more than what you're giving to the other person, and get it started. And just assure your friend like, okay, if this is gonna boom up, then trust me, you're in with me as well. Because teamwork is always the greatest thing that you can ever achieve in an entrepreneurship. Okay, so I want to know, sir, is chat enabled for everyone? Sir? Sir, am I audible? Guys, 1 second.
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Yeah, Arun, is the chat enabled for you guys?
So it's enabled, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm
You
unable.
can call me brother or Anna. Please don't call me sir, please. I'm just only a senior to, or maybe yeah. This year I passed out, so you can call me Anna or bro. Not an issue.
ఇన్కమింగ్ కాల్ రానంటుంది గుడ్ చేస్తే వస్తుంది
దానికి మాత్రం జియో మాత్రం
వస్తాయి
2
Hello, Etiraj. Can you mute yourself?
I muted him.
Yeah, okay. Guys, I want to like do this thing. Can you guys share with me your goals? Not like I want to be a great person for my mother, great child for my mother or so on. I want you to list out your goals, both your long term and short term. If you're not aware of what is long term or short term goals are something you want to achieve in the long run. Say, for example, I want to achieve this within 10 to 15 years. Short term is like I want to achieve this within 2 or 3 years. Can you guys list out, please? I'll be waiting here. I'll be looking at the chat box. Please do post your comments on the chat. I'd like to see what you guys want to do, because who knows, something might be like in my mind and I can help you with it as well. Because I know certain contacts apart from Panimal Engineering College are my friends working in various domains. So I might be able to forward you through them, or maybe able to give you an idea of how to achieve it. So guys, I'll be waiting right here. I'll be looking at the chat box. Please put down your comments.
Disabled for us.
Chat is disabled for you guys.
Yes, sir.
Sir, can you please enable the chat?
No, it is enabled actually. People are
Guys, wait a
chatting.
second.
No, it's enabled. So you better get into the post and then you can chat there.
So the chat is disabled for me as well. I guess it is disabled for
No, they
people
can
outside
chat.
the team, like people
They
who have
can.
joined as guests.
Okay, okay, okay.
Wait a second, sir. I'll see if I can make something work.
No, it's disabled from admin side. So students, you can mute your mic, unmute your mic, and then you can post your questions. Angren?
Yes, sir.
Students, you can unmute, and then you can ask your questions if you have anything. I think it is not enabled, Angren.
So 1 second, sir.
Okay.
Experience, so take him with you. That is not something I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna do is I'll make you sit with my team. I'll be with you, and I'll have some of my teammates with me as well to direct you throughout the process, and the MBA person to say what are the risks and how to mitigate it, or how to overcome it, or how to pass the risk. So these are the things we'll be working on. So this is a service-based startup, and if you're working on a product-based startup, you can do like as I said earlier, like selling a slushy or a lassi shop or something else. It just doesn't need to be physical. It can be like not mental actually. It can be a soft copy or version of something else. Like say for example, a particular software. And you might ask, okay, then website is a service or software? Website is a service, not a software. I'm creating the website, and that website is going to be working online. If I'm creating a particular software, say for example, a point of sale software for a particular company or a particular restaurant, then that is called as a product. So learn things in a different way. And guys, one important trait or a few important traits for an entrepreneur. First one, never be ashamed of what you are. Because I've seen persons who are ashamed of what they are. I've seen persons who regret to show up what they are. I've seen persons who are so introverts, like they don't even want to ask doubts or ask questions about what they want or what they should do. I'm not sure if some of you have seen me in college, or if some of you have seen me directly in person or anything else. I've always been like a person who's open. Okay, I have stammered in Tamil. Okay, let me be honest. I've studied Tamil only till 5th. I'm a Tamil person, yes, but I still don't know how to write and read Tamil properly. Sometimes I stammer with my Tamil, and it is still my mother language. But still, I don't care. I don't think of what other people think or perceive about me if I talk in Tamil, or if I stammer in it, or if I even now if I'm stammering, I'm not gonna be like, okay, I'm stammering. Okay, what the crowd will think of me. I'm like, okay, I'm stammering right here, so next time I should work on it. This is how you should think. Okay, I'm not restricting. I'm not restricting our thought process, but this is what it demands. There are certain demands and certain requests that need to be satisfied to achieve something. Say, for example, in order to go and get a biryani in a biryani shop, you should go in time for the first thing. You should go in time. Second, you should go to a place where you'd love to eat it. Third, it should be hygienic. Fourth, you should go to a place where your favorite variety of biryani is available. So even for the slightest thing, you're gonna pay for the biryani. Obviously, it's not like okay, the person is giving you for free and you're gonna go and get it on time. Still, even though if you're gonna pay, you should go to that place on time. Go to the place where you love to eat or where you like the taste, and go to the place where they serve the variety of biryani that you like. There are 3 particular constraints for just an 100 rupee biryani. So just think of the constraints that are required within an entrepreneur or someone who wants to create a thing that will revolutionize something else. So as people know, there's a big saying in movies actually. This was something that has always been fascinating for me. In Avengers actually, in Avengers Endgame or yeah, in Avengers Endgame, I guess. There's a saying by Thanos, whatever it takes. This is how your attitude should be. Whatever it takes. Don't care about the person sitting opposite to you. Don't care about what the person opposite to you will think about if you ask certain things or the way you speak demands. Except for example, even if I myself want to talk a fluent Tamil, sometimes I stammer, but I should believe in myself that I can do it. If I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm definitely gonna stammer, then I'm not gonna be like starting up. You might think, okay, there's a nice speaking okay kind of English right now. But actually, let me be honest with you guys. I am a person who failed on English exam on my 8th standard. I got 90 on my chemistry, the subject I hate the most, 90 plus on all the subjects, but I literally failed on English alone. That is when I started thinking, okay, so what should I do? Or what can I do? I was literally mocked by everyone in my school because I studied in a very prestigious school called as Don Bosco, which is very well known for English speaking community and people speaking good English and so on. But I still failed in English alone. I was mocked by many people. I was like being catcalled by many people. Like, okay, this guy doesn't even know how to speak English. But the worst part was, it took me just 1 year to be like able to constantly talk in English with everyone I meet. I was so good at English that I was appointed as a person who checks if people are not talking in English, because we usually have a rule called speak only in English, because there has always been a discrepancy. Like, okay, people speaking in Hindi, yeah, you might think, okay, so casteism is biggest discrepancy, but there are other things too. Like in my school, some people thought like, okay, if you speak Hindi, you're more powerful than people speaking on Tamil. That is why they brought this rule called speaking only in English. If you ever fail to speak in English, or if you ever fail to follow the rule, you need to pay a fine. Literally, you need to pay a fine. This rule has to be followed throughout the school campus from class timings till the end of school. You cannot speak in Tamil even during your breaks. That is how the rule was, because they wanted to break the system. You might think, okay, this is so brutal. I can't even speak in my mother language. Then what is the purpose of school? So you should break the school law. Or if you have seen that Meesai Murukku movie, you can even say like, okay, கடைசில எப்படி இருந்தாலும் வந்து லைக் அடிப்பட்டாலும் அம்மா தானே கத்த போறாங்க. Yeah, obviously that is true, but they wanted to break the system that says, okay, one person is more prior than the other. That is why I started learning like, okay, so this is not how the world works. Just because a person is above me doesn't mean I need to be a slave. Just because they are above me doesn't mean I need to do what they want me to do. So just break the system, go up, go through your own perception. Don't care about what others think or what others say about your ideas, or if they believe in you, just believe in yourself. Then yeah, let's move on to real life stories of certain startups and successful entrepreneurs. You might have heard of Jeff Bezos. You might have heard of Elon Musk. You might have heard of the Freshworks person and so on. But there are other people too who are still struggling to go up, but are making them mark from where they are. Like there are companies like, wait a second, let me think. Yeah, there's a company like Hippo Video. You might think, okay, these people are like, this name is something I haven't heard. this name is something that I haven't heard. So what I should be doing, what will I be able to do, and so on. But Hippo Video is actually a company that is having clients only outside of India. Literally, they are having clients only outside of India. They are not having any clients in India because Indians have a common mentality like, okay, if my name is known, then everyone should come to me. But those guys thought out of the box. They created their own web services. They started selling APIs. As I told earlier, they started selling APIs. They made their mark internationally, brought in clients overseas, and are working for them. There are many other startups this way as well. So just don't believe in a particular community or just don't believe what others say about your startup or anything. On the whole, what I'm trying to say is believe in yourself, trust in yourself, trust the process. Because no one ever makes a Onetonda, or you might be watching some songs or some movies. You might not be knowing like, okay, so 5 minute song, yeah, so it is gonna take me one night to become a big person. Nope. And don't know if some of you have watched Talevi or J-Beam. The Talevi, the entire movie shown in Talevi took actually around 12 to 15 years in reality. The 2.5 hour movie shows what happened in a period of 10 to 15 years. And J-Beam, the movie shows the time period of 13 years. The case actually took 13 years. That Karpur people to get out of what they are being done took 13 years of constant will and fight to get to what they are. And the movie was shown just for 2.5 hours. I'm not going to say you need 13 years as shown like the movie. You're watching a 5 minute song and thinking, okay, like I might do it in one day. Nope. If 2.5 hours is taking 13 years, just think of like, okay, then 5 minute song means I'm gonna take 2 years. So I'm gonna work hard throughout the process and I'm gonna make it work. And if you're like thinking, okay, what if my parents ask me what am I doing, or will my parents accept me? Nope, no parents will ever accept your idea. Especially no parents, actually, not just your parents, even my own parents. My mother, actually, not my father, my mother actually never believed in my idea. And what she was saying is, don't jump into things, just carry over your father's business, do it as it is. My father is an entrepreneur, actually. He was working and he became an entrepreneur as a whole, like when I was around 6th. And my mother was like, okay, your father's successful, so what you have to do is take over his business, do it, you will have good money, you will gain a lot of money, and that's all. Why do you have to go for a job, or why do you have to create on your own? Why do you have to even struggle? Guys, if your parents have a startup or if your parents having own business, just trust me, don't ever take on the business, because you don't know the struggle they went through. You don't know what they had to do to get over there. You're just going to go straight and sit on the kingdom or a throne without even fighting your own battle. So it doesn't make sense in first place. And second one, you wouldn't know the value of it unless until you fought your own. Even when my father startup, yeah, even in, not a startup, actually, it's a business right now. In my father's business, I also thought, okay, so it's a good money. I can also think. This was when I was like around 8th or 9th. I was like, okay, this is good money. I can earn a lot because my father usually, when he was working a 9 to 5 job, he used to be like restrict things. Okay, like say for example, if I'm asking something, Dad, I want this toy or that toy. He used to be saying, no, sorry, we can't make it this month. This month is heavier. This month is tight, and so on. But literally, after starting his own business and getting it through, if I'm asking for a thing, the first thing he'll say is, உனக்கு என்ன வேணுமோ வாங்கிக்கோ, அதுல என்ன இருக்கு. Literally he says this, உனக்கு என்ன வேணுமோ வாங்கிக்கோ, அதுல என்ன இருக்கு. You can see how the repo changed from one thing to another. So I could have been a spoiled brat or something, but I've known stories about my entire family. My entire family is like a little bit like, how to say, I won't say it's messed up, but it is something that has always been struggling. My grandfather ran out of his house when he was 13 years of age. He worked in a tea shop. He wiped off the glasses. Then he learned how to be a mechanic from the taxi drivers that came to his shop. He started his very own mechanical shop. He started working as a mechanic. He bought the building he rented for the mechanic shed. Now he has around 15 to 23 houses in Chennai right now. As of now, he's having 15 to 23 houses, and he was a person who ran out of his house by 13. When he was 13, actually. Now he's like 68 or 69, I guess. But when he was 13, he ran out of his house. Sounds crazy, right? This is what entrepreneurship is. Never give up. Learn new things. Grow yourself. Grow what you want to be. Grow to be what you want to see. Grow to be the change you want to be. And even now, even now he's like still working on his own. Even now, my father has me and my sister. She's married right now. My sister is earning around like more than enough. Actually, I don't want to share our packages, but she's earning around like maybe 60 or 70, and including mine and hers, it will be around 1 L per month. And my father is like, when we told my father, no, dad, you don't have to work anymore, and you can sit and rest. The first thing he said was, the first rule of a business person is, don't stop working until you die. His literal quote to me was, don't stop working until you die if you are a business person. And even now, when I look this side, he was carrying something out of my room for his work purpose. And this is something that has been driving me through. Learn from the best people, learn from the entrepreneurs themselves, learn how it's done, and learn how to achieve it. Okay? Everybody has their own scars, everybody fights their own battles, and unless or until you fight your own, you can never be successful in your life. And guys, to wind up with this session, I would like to provide some tips actually. As said earlier, never give up. Always trust in yourself. Trust in yourself more than anyone, okay? Even if you're having people like your well-wishers or so on, your trust should always be more than them towards you. Say, for example, you might not care for you. Care for you is different. Self-care, self-love is different, and self-respect is different apart from self-trust. Okay, because you know your idea. You know how it's gonna work out. You know how it will turn out the thing. You know how it will be established. You might face a lot of issues, or you might face a lot of forthcomings related to what you want to be, but just trust in you. Trust that you are doing it for a reason. You're here for a reason. You should attain it. Just because you want biryani. Okay, say for example, yeah, during this rainy season, many of you would want to eat something hot, or go out and eat for some time. But let me say something, I've not been around you because I'm an individual of my own, and I've been doing this as well. When we want to eat something outside, we literally go for it, even though if it's raining cats and dogs. We don't care how much it's raining or how much centimeters, or even if it's raining. We will just take our vehicle like a bike or a car or a scooty or something else, or even through walk. We go to the place we want to eat. We will go eat as if nothing ever happened in this entire society. We will come back home. This is the attitude that you should have as an entrepreneur. Okay? Don't care about what people think of you. Don't care about what is happening around you. Just care about what you want to achieve. Go for it, work for it. If you need help, don't hesitate to ask. Don't just think, okay, just because this person spoke to me, I want to go and ask him for help. Honestly speaking, I might not be available 24/7 to help you, but just believe that there are many other people to help you as well. Like even from my own batch, there's a person called Dinesh who is a good friend of mine. He might help you as well, and Bhavan Kumar, he might help you as well. So there are a lot of people to help you. Just find the right person to ask. Just find the right thing to ask. Don't worry if the question is like stupid, or if the question is like dramatic or drastic, or if the question is right or wrong. If you're gonna come and ask me, Anna, what to do, or if you're gonna ask me, Anna, இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணலாம் இருக்கேன், என்ன பண்ணலாம் சொல்லுங்க, இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணலாம் இருக்கேன். Like even if you're going to ask me, Anna, I have this skill set and I want to create a startup, what can I do? Definitely I will have an idea. Definitely my friends who I told right now, if you ask them, they will have an idea. They will surely help you out. So don't hesitate to ask. Don't hesitate to ask. Grow as many contacts as you can through the entire process, because your contacts are your potential clients. Because I guess some people might have been through this. You might have seen certain friends of yours or even your own family persons posting like, okay, during the COVID time, we are selling cookies, we are selling this, we are doing this, we are doing an Instagram page, or we are doing this and all. The reason behind posting that is, if one person posts it, say for example, the owner, the person who created it posts it, around 50 of his contacts will see it. So 50 people will know that certain thing exists, and they can get it at a lower price because they know the person as a first person contact. Okay, so around about in these 50 people, 10 people will be really concerned about the person creating this thing. So what those 10 people will do is, those 10 people will reciprocate the post and post it again on their own posts, like on their own WhatsApp or social media stuff. So again, even if you count, these 10 people have 50 people contacts each. These 50 people contacts will go through like from one person being advertising it to 50 people, and those out of those 15 people, 10 people are advertising it to 500 people. So this is how contacts work, and this is how clients work. So keep it started, keep it going, work on it. Don't rest. Even if you feel you require money and not sure, then you can do this. Stabilize your startup. What I mean by stabilizing is, make a mark. Say for example, if I'm going back into my Fiverr account and I'm gonna say, okay, I'm doing this, or if I'm going back to solutions and I'm restarting it and I'm saying, or no, not restarting, like if I'm resuming it and I'm saying, okay, I'm selling this service, I literally have clients to come to me right now. At least I'll have 2 or 3 to spare right now. That is called basing your startup. You should make a mark, you should create a stuff that lets people think that you are eligible. I'll take my father into count right into this. Okay, my father has a pharmaceutical distributorship service. Okay, pharmaceutical distributorship means a person who is importing certain medicines that are only to be sold to people who have license to handle it. Okay, this is what happens. This is my father's business, and how my father stands out of it. There are actually 10 to 12 people in Chennai, in Tamil Nadu, along with my father, the having various businesses. Okay, that's like my father having a separate one on this, and there are 10 other persons who are selling the same medicines, who are having the same franchise, who are selling the same branding as well. But my father still stands out of this crowd. The reason is, he does something to base it up. So he thought it through. If a person is asking for one particular vial of particular medicine, what others do is, they will make sure like, okay, one vial is not gonna make me a profit. So what I'm gonna do is, I'll wait for at least 10 to 15 people to order, then I'll deliver it to him. But my father, what he does is, okay, if it's one vial, okay, sir, then let's make a deal. Can you come halfway? I'll come halfway and I'll give it to you. So both are like similar. The only thing is, the client gets the product ahead of what he orders from the others. Like say for example, if he is ordering from person A, okay, I don't want to like add anyone else. If I'm ordering from, if Aingran Krishnamurthy, I'm ordering from person A for a particular vial of medicine for just one vial, and if I'm ordering to Mr. Krishnamurthy, that is my father, for a particular vial of medicine at a particular hour, what happens here is, this person is telling me, okay, sir, wait for some time. When more orders come out, I'll dispatch them as well, like everything together. So this person has to wait. That is me has to wait to get the medicine from this person. But what this person, my father, does is, he makes me a call. He says, okay, can you do this? One vial doesn't make me a lot of profit, but I don't want to make you wait. Just see stone. I don't want to make you wait. So what you can do is, can you come halfway and get the medicine? I will come halfway for you. And can you come halfway too? So what happens here is, I am getting an assurance that I'll get the medicine as soon as possible, and the person is ready to deliver it to me right now. All I have to do is travel some distance. So this person works out more for me than this person. Potentially, what will happen is, I'll go back to Mr. Krishnamurthy rather than going to A, because I'm getting medicines faster, and I don't have to wait for a long time, and I don't have to worry when I will get the medicine. So this is how startup works, and this is what basing a startup means. Basing a startup means setting a pace for yourself, setting a branding for yourself that people should remember, even if you're off of it for a particular period of time. That is what I did. Okay, I took off right now because I need people to work for me, post this, and my friends as well. So what we did was, until my friends got some job, we just docked our startup. Docking a startup is setting a base and just leaving the startup to wait for a certain period of time. So we docked our startup, and now what I'm doing is I am working for Accenture, and I'm doing certain things to make my startup more professional, more efficient, and more than what we were. Even though we have set a base from what we had, I need to be more. Because to be ahead of others in the market, you don't have to see your competitors. The most important mistake others do. You don't have to see your competitors to be like above all people. All you have to do is stay ahead of yourself. Because the most important competitor of this entire society is you, because you are the ideator. You are the master who created this thing. So to be ahead of this, see yourself, grow yourself, and work on yourself. Thank you, guys. It was such a lovely session with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angren, for the beautiful session again. And students, feedback form for the session has been posted, will be posted in your WhatsApp group by your mentors. Please fill the feedback form, and thank you everyone again, and we'll back with another beautiful session on some other day. Thank you.